Something just happened that hasn't happened since 1993, and it actually might be a big deal. Find out on this edition of the Video Market Update. At the end of July, the Federal Reserve met for their Federal Open Market Committee, or FMOC, meeting where they discussed interest rates. And the determination was to keep interest rates steady. Now, as you know from some of the videos recently, I have been saying that the expectation would be that the first rate cut wouldn't be until at least September. So that held true with what most people were expecting. But what happened that had not happened since 1993 is that two Federal Reserve Board of Governors voted against the decision to keep interest rates steady and instead voiced the opinion that interest rates should be cut. Why is that a big deal? Well, since 1993, there has been almost near universal unanimity. With rare exception, there's been one person here, one person there that has gone against what the decision was. But to have two is fairly unprecedented, again, going all the way back to the early 1990s. Why is it a big deal? Because the expectation is that they all come together as a group and that they're going to hold their interest rates steady or cut them or raise them. This now is an impetus for the Federal Reserve to look and say, well, maybe the time is now to cut rates. There has been some thought, about a 50-50 thought, that maybe interest rates wouldn't get cut now until the end of the year, like December. Does this drive that decision earlier to what we expect, which is September? Since then, some data has come out that would support cutting interest rates. In fact, there was a revision to the jobs numbers for July, June, and May that showed the lowest 3 months of hiring since 2020. What that's done is that's caused unemployment to go up, and the concern of a recession has increased. Just recently, Mark Zandi, the chief economist at Moody's, posted that he believes we are now very close to a recession. Now, as you know from these videos over the years, a recession could be 2 quarters of negative economic growth, where we don't feel it on Main Street, and even in Wall Street they don't feel it. Or it could be a recession where at 6, 7, 8% unemployment, and we do feel it. Now, that seems unlikely because the market's doing fairly well, driven mostly by investment in AI. Main Street has held pretty steady, although the tariffs have created some uncertainty, potentially a little bit increase of inflation. So the decision may or may not be now or in September to raise interest rates, but the fact that there's now dissent means there must be a conversation, which it doesn't feel like they've had, at least this year. So again, something interesting, something kind of unexpected, but kind of a big deal, because it could drive what happens with interest rates. As interest rates go down, we know that that can have a positive effect in some areas and a negative effect in others. So wanted to bring that to you. If you have any questions on this or anything you're seeing in the news, or any questions on what's going on with you and your portfolio, let me know. But if not, as always, I hope you make it a great week.